You are now tuned in to episode 1, season 1 of All Ball, No Bull with your boy, Jordon J. I've been teasing this one since like day one, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever you want to call it. I started writing first. That was like my first initial intro to the game, sports media, I would call it. And I just fell in love with it, I've been doing it since I was a kid, debating with people. And if you know me, you know my passion. Like it's debating sports and basketball. That's like it's my baby girl. If you follow me, you probably know me from the Best of Rivals podcast. And to me, that's like a newfound love, right? I found football and I fell in love with it. But basketball was like that first love. That's what I grew up with. That's me on the blacktop, with my brothers, my uncles, hooping. That's what I know. So this is, like I said, season 1, episode 1 of All Ball, No Bull. And I'm about to get it. And I think, with basketball, it's been crazy, right? Because the world of basketball it's not just the NBA. That's what I love about it, especially for me. NBA is one thing, but I also follow all suits of the game. And right now, there are two major things, I think, over the summer, leading to like fall right now. They've been like just crazy. And I think one of them is obviously the FIBA World Cup. If you like football, it's FIFA, but this is FIBA. It's for basketball. And what's the major talk of town? How the USA did not medal, right? You got 4th place. Everyone's causing, chaos. It's crazy, right? We don't know what's going on. But I'm like, look at the big picture now, right? Noah Lyles, you made some comments. You said you were so upset, about how the NBA, when they become the champions, the declared world champions when, it's in the United States, right? Typically. And I understand what you're saying, because there are other leagues out in the world, right? You got Real Madrid, Barcelona doing their thing in Spain, right? But the NBA is the premier league. Every top player from every country, they come to the NBA. That's the journey. So no matter what you're doing, say you're doing something in Spain or in Turkey, wherever, you're playing to get a contract in the NBA. Like you want someone to see you, a scout to see you, so you can come to the NBA. That's the best league in the world. That's why they call the world champions. Nikola Jokic, international superstar. World, and come on, like don't denounce that, don't downplay that. That's why everyone's upset. That's why KD's upset. That's why LeBron's upset. That's why I'm upset. Don't try to play that card, bro. And it's corny. It's so corny. That's why we calling you out. It's corny, bro. You come to the NBA from all over the world because you want to play in the best league in the world, bar none. And then I go to the FIBA standings and all that, right? And let's look at some history. With the FIBA, the USA, they haven't won since 2014. We're in 2023 right now. 9 years. What does that tell you? We don't really take this competition that serious. And I'm sorry, not trying to knock Germany for getting that medal, that gold medal. Shouts to them. Shouts to you. Dennis, you did your thing. You were like a star, But that game suits you. You're not surrounded by LeBron and AD, D'Angelo. You're not surrounded by these players. You're surrounded by people who really not on your level, so you're going to shine. And you guys, camaraderie, something that other countries have that I think the U.S., we don't have. You guys do grow up together, and it is family. So obviously you're going to, chemistry, it's going to click. That's why they won. The U.S., we're not worried about that. I want to go to the upcoming international tournament, the Olympics, the big one. We're talking about, weight and what's worthy here and what's really the good one. The Olympics, that's what we all play for. We all know that. And like I said, I'm a history guy. I like looking at history because I think people like to forget about that. We like to live in a moment, and that's cool. It's the next big thing, clicks, right? But let's do some history. The USA in the Olympics. We have won 2020, 2016, 2012, 2008. The last time we lost was 2004, almost 20 years ago, 19 years to be exact. Argentina was the team that beat us. We're dominant. We are dominant. So, yeah, I'm sorry. No allows, Germany, Serbia, all of you, you pissed us off. You just assembled basically the Dream Team 3.0, whatever you want to call them. The last ride team is what I like to call them, because it's a lot of old legends on their way out. The last go round, the Big Bang. You just assemble that. Steph Curry, from what we know, this is what they said in these little, clips that we've gotten from the media and whatnot. Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant for sure, right? Man, you guys wanted that. So when we come back to the Olympics again, where we've been dominant for like the last 4 to 5 Olympics, I'm expecting another one, another gold medal. Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, like, you guys asked for that, and they are about to give you buckets. And that's just my whole thing with the whole no allows, finish it up, wrap it up. I understand what you're saying. There are other leagues in the world that play at a high level, that compete. But we look at it preseason with the NBA. They love giving these exhibition games where Barcelona's playing against the Boston Celtics. And I'm pretty sure if we go down the line, the records, the wins and losses, they don't match up, bro. It's like probably 150 to 10 wins. It's something crazy. I'm telling you. You guys can go look it up. Please do. But come on, man. Stop it. You got what you wanted. You got the exposure. Shouts to you for doing your thing, at the Europe World Championships and placing in the gold medal. But don't speak on something you really don't know. And that's how we feel, because we know that the NBA is where you want to come to. It's where legends grow. Your favorite basketball players are in the NBA. We ain't looking at Spain and Turkey. I'm not. I know you're not either. And like I said, there were 2 events, I think, over the summer and leading to the fall that just taken over, right? I think another one is the women's game. Something that we all forget about. It's this running joke in America to just, make a mockery of women, especially in sports. And I don't get it. You go on Instagram, you go on Twitter, you go to the comments, the mention section, you see it. No matter what, who's competing, you see people just mocking. And that's crazy to me, because if you really understand the game, you can always find some beauty. And that's how I feel. In college basketball, we had, I think, 2 of the, when it comes to women's basketball, there haven't really been polarizing figures or, women who just stand up, and it's not really about the game, but more so about the brand. And I think these are 2 individuals who show that. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, went crazy at it, clash of titans. And I think people, obviously, they want to disregard it, because we live in this day and age where everything's inclusive and we don't see it, but race played a part. It definitely did. You got a black girl and you got a white girl, and they're going at it. This is like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Come on, let's be real. We know what we're pushing here with the ratings, and it was fire. And I hate that people, they took the trash talk to a different level, because I'm looking at it like this. The whole "you can't see me" by Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark, I love that. That's just 2 competitors on the court competing. And I'm pretty sure that Caitlin Clark said some things too. We don't know, but she's not just sitting there taking that. She's a competitor too. Come on now. But you guys are taking that and saying that this girl is disrespectful and she doesn't really understand the game, and she's a chump and she didn't really do anything for LSU. What? She was one of their best players all season. 2-way player. She's going to be great in the WNBA when she decides to go. She's making bread right now with these contracts, endorsements. And Caitlin Clark is changing the game. We're seeing a whole different, Steph made something amazing with the men's game. And I think what he really made amazing with it was LeBron, MJ, Kobe, AI, all these amazing figures before him, their games were suited just for men. What did Steph do? He came into the game and he revolutionized it. And not only did he like show the younger generation what you can do, but the women too. You don't need to dunk on somebody. You don't need to, you know what I'm saying, go full length of the court, nasty jelly. You're like, nah, it's finesse. It's placement. It's footwork. It's fundamentals. And that's what a lot of these women are doing. And that's what Caitlin Clark is doing. She is just doing things that we haven't really seen in the women's game before, which is phenomenal. So glad they're getting their exposure. But for me, it started way back in the day. Like my granddad Erwin, amazing guy, put me on to some really, really good sports. Golf was one of them, tennis, and women's basketball. And I fell in love with, like, if you know me, greatness and execution and succeeding is something I take note of. I'm obsessed with it because I want to win, right? UConn, Gina Auriemma, Maya Moore, Tina Charles, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, all these legends. That's what I followed. That's what I gravitated towards. And Maya Moore is my girl. She's my GOAT no matter what. We know she had a short career with everything she was doing outside of basketball. Basketball, phenomenal woman. But what I saw her do on the court was just crazy because, like I said, watching men's basketball, you see a certain style of play, and you kind of just grow and grow to love that. That's what you know. You're comfortable. But then watching Maya Moore is like she's doing the exact same thing that low-key LeBron was doing. And I'm not capping to y'all. Like obviously she's a woman, right? So like yeah, we know, like we get it. But now I'm telling you, Maya Moore, she is going full length of the court, up in the air, behind the back. Like she was basically 3 or 5 steps ahead of the women in her game. And it was just amazing to see, you know? And I also happened to see her go from UConn, where she was dominating player of the year, championships, all type of scoring records, competing against Candace Parker at Tennessee. Yeah, you know, Brittany Griner and Odyssey Sims at Baylor, you know, doing all these crazy things. But then I saw her go to Minnesota in the WNBA. And I think the one thing that holds the WNBA back a little bit is the lack of good quality with their size. So, like, essentially what I mean is you really have to dig deep to find something good with the WNBA. And I was lucky enough to follow Maya Moore, so when she got to Minnesota, she teamed up with Lindsay Whalen and Simone Augustus. And if y'all followed that basketball at that time, that was like the supreme, you know, women's team, dynasty, if you want to say, multiple championships, competing. And she's going against like Tamika Catchings, bucket, Paul Pierce type of player, you know, finesse, savvy, cold. Like, this is what I'm watching, for real. Like, no BS. So when y'all try to mock the game, like, y'all don't understand. There's some GOATs in there. Diana Taurasi, probably the greatest women's scorer to grace the planet. She a bucket. And if you watch DT, you know she a bucket. Like, she'll give any man, 99% of the men in the world, a bucket. Like, that's how good she is. So, like, stop trying to play games. So I love to see that, you know, with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, we've gotten exposure. And not just those two in the women's game, because you got Paige Buckets, Paige Beckers from UConn, coming back from a major injury, but she was also player of the year, you know, like doing her thing. What is she going to do? Right? Haley, leaving Louisville, Kobe disciple. What is she going to do now? Like, I'm intrigued by these topics. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very intrigued. I can't wait to see what these young women do, you know, in the WNBA, especially in my era now where I'm becoming a man and I can really grasp and see what I'm taking in, because it's a beautiful game that I think a lot of people aren't taking into account. And shouts to out in Vegas, the Aces, you know, Aja Wilson, Cole, like, she's going down as one of the greatest players of all time already. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, you know, Finals MVP, gold medalist. Like, she's doing everything. Winning in college, she is that girl, and she has a nice game. If you guys watch her, please do she'll give you buckets. She defeated Brianna Stewart, you know, a girl I was really obsessed with at UConn. Came in kind of post Maya Moore era, and she put on a show, went down as one of the greatest. So shout out to the WNBA, man. I love to see where it's at. There's a women's team in Golden State. I don't know if you guys check that out, but they have just got introduced basically to the league. Steph and Golden State have been promoting and marketing, obviously. So it's just looking really good. I think we're moving in the right light. You know, the world is very, very petty and just foul sometimes. So see some progress in the area that should have been progress to begin with. It's phenomenal. It is absolutely. All right, wrapping up the talk with two major events from the past summer that we just witnessed. I think it's just right that we talk about the NBA. Preseason is amongst us, about to end actually. And it's been great. You're seeing a lot of new talent at different places doing their thing. You know, big threes that have just gotten formed, seeing what they can do a little bit. Obviously, you're not getting the full exposure with minutes and things like that. Just trying to be a little cautious with the players. But, you know, it's been exciting, right? I want to give you, before I even start, to dive deep with this, my rankings going to the 23-24 season of the NBA. And with me, I'm a fan of like anime. So I love like rankings and little systems, levels, classes, right? So I got a rank system for my teams, and we go A, B, C, D. I think you can put two and two together. And I'm obviously going to start from the lower level first. And this is going to be interesting because this is my opinion. So I'm not giving you, you know, these cold hard facts, but I watched the game enough to feel like I got a pretty valid opinion and analysis, and I know what I'm talking about. So, you know, this is what I've seen from the past season, signings, and, you know, just the state of the club, I think, which is a very important thing because a lot of clubs just aren't built to be in these tiers, in these rankings. So here we go. We're going to start at ranking D, or rank D, however you want to call it. And I'm just going to start listing teams. I'll dive into some if I feel like they need some explaining, but for the most part, I feel like everyone should agree with these teams. We got my hometown team, the Bulls. I'll get into them later on with the content, but the Bulls are just, it's bad. It really is a madhouse on Madison. Like no cap. Pistons, Trailblazers, Pelicans. I kind of was tinkering with that one a little bit, but it's also a madhouse over there too. Just so much uncertainty. You don't know what you're gonna get. Is Zion gonna play? You know, just I don't know. Wizards. I love the JP edition with Cal Kuzma, but they were just doing a runway show with like fashion in New York. The whole team. This is where their heads at. Like, it's gonna be fun to watch, but it's not gonna be good basketball like that. And then said Magic, I believe. If I didn't, say them again. Pacers, Hornets, Hawks. Also kind of struggle with them. They just were actually in the Eastern Conference, I believe, like the finals a couple years ago, whatever. Got DeJounte Murray with Trae Young in the backcourt. But what's the direction? And Trae Young, I'm sorry, like I love you, baby, but I need to see more progression, man. You have reached this limit as a player where it's straight stats, straight production. I know you're gonna give me a double-double. I know you're gonna hit three threes every other game, but is it consistent enough to compete on a level with Steph, with Luka, you know, with Kyrie? Like, I don't think it is. So I'm just not sold yet, and we'll see. Hopefully, Trae has a lot left in his career to show us, but the Hawks just don't get it right now. Raptors, who were definitely a higher level team before, but with the recent subtractions, Fred VanVleet, you know, Pascal still trying to see what's up. You know, it's just there's no direction as well. The Kawhi departure really hurt them. The DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, like all that really hurt them because they really had no identity after that, and they're trying to reshape, figure it out again, and they're taking their time. I think they're going to be good eventually. The Canadians just know basketball in a different way. They also know brotherhood and stuff, so they'll get it together. But they're a low level team right now, ranked D. And then Spurs, which is crazy. One of the golden teams from the last 2 decades ago, competing with the Lakers, winning championships, big threes, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard. But it's bad. I mean, I like Victor, him coming over, and I'll talk about him more too, but Pop has showed me, which I told a lot of people early on with my debates, all my good debates, the heated ones, elementary school, middle school. You see the jersey, you see who I rock. So you know what I was debating. It's Lakers and Spurs. This is what I'm talking about, Pop or Phil. And I'm always team Phil. So my whole thing with Pop was like, yeah, he welcomed something nice. David Robinson, the Admiral, you know, and then you get Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, Kawhi Leonard. Like, these are all really good players. It's not just like something he picked up. Like, no, these are generational winning championships. And he benefited from that, right? And then once they left, you saw it. Brady, Belichick, you see it. Don't denounce and don't discredit these superstars, because when they retire, you feel the effect. And Pop is feeling it right now. Victor may, you know, do something for him, give him some juice, but Pop is on his way out. And the Spurs are just not good enough right now. I'm sorry. We're going to move up. Rank C. I could have started this team first, but it might surprise some people. So I'm going to leave them for the last, you know. Can't give y'all the goods just yet. T-Wolves. Like, come on. Yeah, they're just fools. Grizz. Yeah, I think that's one that probably that may shock some people, because the Grizzlies have just been, I think, the last couple of years a tough outing in the West, right? You know, very gritty, young bucks trying to make a name for themselves, making noise. But we've seen with them recently, they kind of cracking under pressure. Ja's going through Ja right now. D. Brooks just left. You know, you're paying Desmond Bane max contract money. Desmond Bane, a poor man's Klay Thompson. Can't dribble, can shoot, but streaky. Undersized defender. He's bulky, but come on, I can move past him. Like, for real, stop playing on me. Y'all know me back in my day, man. Real talk. But Desmond Bane, that's what you're banking on to lead you the way while Ja is out for some games. And D Rose. I love D Rose too, but come on, man. Y'all tweaking. You gotta stop this nonsense. All right. So move past the Grizz, Jazz, Cavs, which they teeter, you know. They have enough talent, but they're missing, I think, just that prime time piece. Because Donovan Mitchell isn't it for me. I'm sorry. Spider, you got it. Like, the D-Wade comparison, it is valid because you do play like D-Wade, but, like, you're just not the man. And I'm sorry, I don't mean that in a negative sense. You're a 1B, like 2. You're right there. You're right there, but you're not the man. You need somebody else to put you over that edge. Maybe it's a big man. Maybe it is a more dominant point guard besides Garland. Small. It needs to be something else besides Donovan Mitchell. That's why the Cavs just aren't a B-level team. Rockets could have been D, but with the additions they just made, Brooks, Fred VanVleet, young Jalen Green's finding his way, gonna be a really good scorer, young scorer, prolific scorer. Seguin is their center. Like, they looking good. And then you got a nice signing with the coaching and Udoka. We know what he went through in Boston with the whole, cheating scandal, whatever you want to call it. That's that man's personal life. Basketball, he a basketball mind. And you will be a fool to not have him a part of your culture. And these are young bucks trying to find their way. Very unstable, right? The whole Kevin Porter thing, his situation, crazy. So maybe this, in some mad scientist way, is like going to be a good recipe. Now, I feel like it is, because they just got something to prove. They all do. The coach, the players, they a C-level team. They're going to compete. Make the playoffs, we don't know, but they will compete. Play in tournament right there on the brink. Thunder, also, just like the Rockets. These are young teams that are looking really good. 2-3 years from now, they will be competing in the West on a daily basis. They got young talent. If you know basketball, you know they got Chet, like, come on. Josh, Shot, like, come on. Jalen, like, they got a squad. And they're looking nice. They're looking very, 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 very nice. I believe in the Thunder. Sam Presti, phenomenal GM. We saw those picks, what he was doing, getting rid of KD, Russ, James, shipping away Serge. These all made sense at the end of the day because he got a lot of pieces to work with now. A lot of young guns who are ready to compete, who've been losing a lot. So they hungry. These young wolves out to get it. And I can't wait to see the Thunder. Nets, kind of in that same little realm. But they're going to compete. Mikal, Cam, great additions. Ben Simmons looking really good right now. Nets will be in the playoffs again. I think they're going to do way better than what they did last season. We're just going to see more playing time together with a lot of these players. They came over, you got to remember, at a very weird time with trades. Like you're playing with one team and then you come over, like it was just odd. Crazy situation, we get it. So they're going to definitely gel a little bit more and better going to this season. And then we move on past the Nets, and we have the Kings competing with Golden State. Nothing really else to say. They're going to be there. De'Aaron Fox. The Kings are their young gun team. They want to outscore you, outshoot you. That's what they want to do, So I believe in the Kings, which is crazy because they haven't won in a long time. But they're a young team right now. C-level team. Knicks, yes, they're a C-level team. New Yorkers, don't say B-level, don't say A-level. You boys not ready, you ain't got it, you're frauds. You should be D-level, but I'm going to give you that, I guess. Lakers. This has been a love-hate relationship with me because if you know me, Jay growing up was diehard Lakers. Like, I'm attached like this. Obviously, I guess Kobe played a part, right? But even before that, I understand the history. Like, I'm a Laker diehard, Lake Show, Lake Nation, whatever you want to call it. But then Bron came. And there's no love lost between me and Bron. Like, Bron is Bron, I'm me. And I didn't like the way everything transpired, him coming over. And I just think they're a C-level team now. He's not good enough to be, I think, the second best player. Maybe third. On a championship team, let's be real here. LeBron James is good enough to be the third best here. At the end of the day, you need three players. You need three. Denver just kind of had it. They had like a little combo. It was obviously Jokic, Murray, but then the combo of Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. It's basically three players who are giving you, something, right? You go to Golden State, especially in this era, right? Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. You see what I'm saying? The Lakers need that third player. You can't have Austin Reeves. I'm sorry. D'Angelo Russell, you know me. You my boy. I love you, but I'm sorry. So who's it going to be, right? So they are a C-level team right now. And then the Sixers, self-explanatory. James Harden don't want to be there. Joel Embiid, you injury prone, fake big man, MVP, I get it. But like the way you play, I'm not a fan of. You got to do better. You got to show me more. You got to show me you want it more. Tobias Harris, fraud. Tyrese Maxey, I feel sorry for you. You need to get out of there. Doc Rivers, like, come on, man. Like, iffy. It's nasty. Um, you know, yeah, that's the Sixers from move past the C-level teams. We go to B-level now. And this is where I think you just have the cream of the crop. These are the teams that are competing on a different level, who want to be there, who have the players, and who they look ready. Mavs, Kyrie, and Luka about to cook. We saw a little sample size. They didn't make the playoffs, but I think that's just because they were dealing with team issues that weren't there. I think they keyed in with some signings. I think the Grant Williams signing was really good. I think they're gonna be better. I think they're gonna compete, and there's no way that Kyrie and Luka are gonna miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. They will be competing at the end for real. Miami, obviously, self-explanatory. Golden State, Clippers. It's my B-level teams. They will be chasing the A-level teams, top dogs, top ninjas, whatever you want to call it, and that is the Suns. I think the big three of Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and D-Book obviously is going to cook, but the additions of Grayson Allen, shooter, it's going to help him out tremendously. Nurkic coming over from Portland, big man, going to stretch the game, doing way better than DeAndre Ayton did. They have some great signings to go with that bench, what they struggle with in the playoffs. I think they have a great shot of winning the title. It's going to come through probably two of these teams I'm about to mention. Well, I've mentioned one as well, but the other team in the West. But I think the Suns are right there, going to bring. Celtics, I think they are the second best team in the East, bar none. Drew Holiday teaming up with JB and JT, and then KP with that as well. It's not a big four. Stop that right now. Cut it out. We got to stop throwing that term around. Like, y'all be tripping, bro. Big threes, big fours. Like, I'll give you big threes with Drew, JB, and JT, but I'm not throwing KP in with a big four. He going to give you like 20, but like, yeah, not like that. And then lastly, obviously, I think the best team, not the best team, it's the second best team probably, Bucks, Dame, Giannis, but the best team, the Nuggets. I think that rounds out your rankings, at least 2023-24 NBA season. That finishes up my rankings with, obviously, the teams in the NBA. Now I think it's only right that I move to the players. I'm going to break this down to little sections. In the first section here, it's a little tricky because I think with the game itself, especially in the NBA, we move to, with this position, it's not really point guard or shooting guard. It's combo guard. It's what a lot of these players are. Can't really put them in one position. Steph Curry, for example, played the majority of his career at point guard, right? With the addition of Chris Paul, which is going to be, I think, something crazy to see, right? Something very crazy. I think we're going to see Steph playing the two now, which a lot of people, they want to say that Steph Curry's a two guard. He's a shooting guard, off guard, right? That's why I can't really say he's So these are my guards. And same thing, I'm going to start at the bottom, A, B, C, D. And with my guards, starting with the D level, it's just the field. So I'm not going to mention every shooting guard and point guard in the NBA, but if I don't mention them in the levels above, it's just the field, right? I mean, they not bad. To make the NBA, you got to be like part of that 1%, whatever you want to call it. So they're good enough, but I just don't think they're on like these players' levels, right? So we move up to the C level. I'm just going to start listing players again. Tyus Jones, Alex Caruso, Josh Giddey. Chris Paul is a C-level guard now at this state of his career. I think anyone can agree with that, especially when I mention the players above him. Spencer Dinwiddie, Austin Reeves. Shouts to him, man. Wasn't really big on him at first. So I don't like the one season where you start giving players this title as like, the next whatever. But then he showed us in the international play, it's like the third best scorer on the team with some shooters. You feel me? So like he can compete. He's a pro. And D-Lo been vouching for him, Bron been vouching for him. We seeing it. Like I think he's gonna be here. He's gonna be Like these C level players, think of them as like that third or fourth level addition on a team that can give you buckets. And that's what you want. You need it. And that's what these players can do. Tyrese Maxey, Malcolm Brogdon, Fred VanVleet, Anthony Simons, Tyler Hero, Tyrese Halliburton, Marcus Smart, Russell Westbrook, Klay Thompson, CJ McCollum, Bradley Beal, LaMelo Ball, DeJounte Murray, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Garland, Scoot Henderson, Jalen Green, Jordan Poole, Bucket. Shouts to you, bro, going crazy. And my boy, D'Angelo Russell. I think that's a solid C-level tier rank. I think you guys will all agree with that. Like, I don't see anyone that stands out that could be, B-level with these players. Bradley Beal at one point maybe, but he's kind of falling off. Still give you buckets, but not at that level anymore. Yeah, I think, yeah. I can't even give you anything. I want to hear your opinion, obviously. Please tune in and give me your responses with that one. But then we move on to rank B. And I got Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Ja Morant, PG, Paul George, Anthony Edwards. Woo! That is one where this kid can go to A if he wants to. It's really up to him. He's the next, two guard that's like where we think it's going to be him. Yeah, I think AE is just, he's nice, man. Mentality's there. He wants it. He's hungry. He's going to compete. A different breed with this new generation, He's not just about friends. It's more about competing, which I love. And then we got James Harden, Jamal Murray. I think he really solidified himself on this level or this rank when he did it, the past finals for real. Like, you saw Jamal Murray before that at Kentucky and then early Denver. You knew he was a bucket, but like him performing on that level as a winner, getting that ring as the Robin, that's major. So shouts to Jamal Murray, B rank guard right now. Trae Young, I mentioned him already. We know what Trae can do. I think he's also in the Anthony Edwards scenario. His ceiling obviously is getting a little smaller with the extent, him being in the NBA for, I guess, quite some time now, NBA terms. But Trae he's the one that we want to be Steph. Like, everyone knows it. We kind of prematurely gave him that title coming from Oklahoma, right? As that shooter, that undersized shooter that can dribble, come to the rim, do all that good stuff. We want Trae to be that, and he can do that if he takes it to another level. You got to go to the playoffs again, Eastern Conference Finals. Fine, like, you got to do that. You at that level now, you at that state of your career, there's no more playing games, there's no more wasting time. You got to produce. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously. I think he's been, that needle in a haystack type of vibe player. Because, you saw him and you saw the flashes, but not to this extent. I think he's just taking people by storm right now. And obviously playing in OKC prior to the additions of, Chat, because he didn't really play. And then Josh Giddey's been there, but they've been adding new people, here and there. It was easy for, Shai to do that. Finishing up with Shai, rank B type guard. I think we moved to Dame. Found a new home in Milwaukee, teaming up with Giannis. His shot at a NBA title for real now. Like, there should be no more excuses. I don't want to hear no more complaining, no more going on Twitter fingers, tweeting, none of that. You got Giannis, outside of Jokic, the best basketball player in basketball. Like, come on. It's that simple. So, yeah. And then Jalen Brown. I was kind of conflicted with him because I think he can be a small forward as well. But I think in college, California at Cal, and then moving on to the league, he's been a shooting guard with JT being a small forward. Just a bigger body, right? But I think he's a B-level shooting guard. He can be A2. I just think we haven't seen enough from JB consistently and as like the man to be an A-level guard with these four that I'm about to mention. And this is where it gets good. Devin Booker. I don't want to hear anyone debating me on this. He's the best shooting guard in basketball. And if you're the best shooting guard in basketball, you got to be an A-level guard. Like, you feel like, come on, stop it. We saw it. He's been to the finals already. He's won games in the finals. He's produced in the finals. So there should be any argument that he can't win. No, he can win. He's gonna win. He just got another addition. Obviously KD's been there, but Bradley Beal, just give him more weapons to show us now. And he's not even in the prime of his career yet, I don't think. Not even yet. Like we saw young D-Book. And that's kind of like the messed up part with him. I think Jason Tatum's also another player who falls victim to this. But they produce early on in their careers. And now it's like this expectation that they should just be Kobe Bryant or LeBron James right now. And it's not true. Like those were anomalies. Kobe won early on. LeBron didn't win early on. Like, come on now. MJ didn't win early on. Come on now. Giannis took time to win. Come on now. Y'all got to stop. So Book is there. He's going to be there. He solidified himself, period. I don't hear anything from anyone. Because I know this next guy, his fan base, they love to come at Book. But Luka's a A-level guard. I know he has not been in the finals. Hasn't really done much in the playoffs. But Luka, every season for 82 games, he's producing. He's killing. Like, eye test, we know what he can do. If you know basketball, you know Luka Doncic is like, come on, it's Luka. It's Luka. Then I think you move to his, Robin, Batman, however you want to call it with these two, but Kyrie Irving. I don't want to hear he doesn't play enough games. He's not there. Kyrie is an A-level guard. He's the only other guard on this list I'm about to mention that has won A-level wise besides Steph. That's my other one. And Kyrie won over Steph. The shot over Steph. He a killer too? Like, come on. Kyrie's an A-level guard. Superstar, I think he teeters. I don't think he's a superstar because I think to be a superstar, you do need to play enough games. You do need brand marketability, right? You don't market Kyrie Irving. You just don't, because Kyrie is his own man. He's his own individual. He doesn't really care about a brand. It's bigger for Kyrie. But Giannis, Luka, these yes men, I'm sorry, not in a negative sense, but they're not going to say anything outside of the realm that messes with the brand. That's why you guys want to give Kyrie Irving a superstar title, which is why I can as well, because I know with the NBA, there are two facets, two sides to it. It's not just one. So that's why he doesn't really excel, right? But basketball, he's a star. He's super. He's right there. So I think he teeters on that line, right? But yeah, Steph Curry, he's the best guard in the NBA. You got to take that title from him. You got to do it. Aging like fine wine. Had a game winner in preseason. Like, won a championship post KD. Has beaten Bron more in the finals than Bron's beaten him. The greatest three-point shooter of all time. It's Steph Curry, man. Respect that boy. Because he is the supreme guard. The high-ranking guard. The A-level guard. Okay? And now, we move on to small forwards. And I could have grouped them as, forwards, right, like I did with guards. But I think this position is a little bit more sound. Like you see, you know what you're getting. And I'm starting, obviously, to feel D. Then we move on to C level. We got Keldon Johnson, Spurs. RJ Barrett. Scotty Barnes. Cam Johnson. Tobias Harris. Bojan Bogdanovic. DeAndre Hunter. Roy Hachimura. Yeah, I kind of got that right, bro. Sadiq Bey. Brandon Ingram. OG Anunoby. Michael Porter Jr. Franz Wagner, Dylan Brooks, Andrew Wiggins, and Chris Middleton. I think they all have something in common. They're just that nice, subtle piece in a good team. They can all produce. They can all do the thing. Defend. A lot of shooters. Yeah, these are C-level small forwards. Then we move to B-level. I think Mikal Bridges is a B-level small forward. And that might be one that I'm getting a lot of debate on. He hasn't done enough yet. He's not consistent enough yet. But I think that season that he just had, and then the flashes you knew from Nova, if you knew that Kale was a shooter and a two-way player, yeah, Kale, this is a ceiling. He's going to be probably one day competing against Jason Tatum. Yeah, he's going to be like that piece. Yeah, Kale's like that. Kale is that good. He's that smart. His body is just a mismatch. I think he's going to make it known this season, too, with Brooklyn, that he's the focal point. He's the main man. Because that's one thing with these B-level small forwards. They're all the main man, all the alpha in a sense, right? Because the next one is Jimmy Butler. Jimmy. Going to the finals, competing. Losing, obviously, but he's competing. Kawhi Leonard. Mr. I'll play when I want to, but Kawhi could be A-level. Just not consistent enough, unfortunately. And then this is the one. He is not a A-level guard. Small forward. Pardon my language. LeBron James. You Bron, diehards, fans, I know you want to argue it. I know you want to say it. I know you agree with it. I know you think it. He is not the guy anymore. The title is gone. We're seeing it. He's obviously producing at a very high level for his age. And shouts to him because LeBron is just the greatest athlete to grace the NBA. That's not a debate. But basketball-wise, I don't think he's an A-level small forward anymore. He's a B-level small forward, probably the alpha in that B-level small forward group, but he's not better than my A-level small forwards, KD, Giannis, Jason Tatum. He's not. They run it. Giannis is a small forward to me. He's not a power forward. I know we try to say it. We try to push it. He's a small forward. He's not better than them. LeBron has lost that step in his game to those three individuals, in my opinion. KD already showed him in the finals that I will give you buckets. You don't want to guard me. Giannis, come on. Self-explanatory. He's the main man at small forward. And then Jason Tatum. He wants to take it from Giannis. You know, they fighting in the East. It's them. They fighting. So, like, what are we doing here? LeBron, he's not in that conversation. Especially not this season. And for the remainder of his career. There's nothing he can do. He has a great season this year. I'm not putting him in my A-level next season because LeBron has, 2-3 more years? Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, long term. These are people who are consistently showing us that they're going to grow and they're excelling. Kevin Durant obviously is old, but KD, come on, you can't tell me. He just has the most efficient season yet at the age of 34, 30, come on. He's better than LeBron. So we can move past that one. That's ranks. Something I'm going to do quite often on this podcast because, you know me, I just love putting people in categories, especially in sports, because it's nice seeing the levels, the different levels between players, teams. So, yeah, tune in for more of that. I'm not finished. Obviously, I got to mention power forwards and centers. It's going to be an interesting conversation. But we'll talk about that, later on. Now I want to move on to something that has also taken quite a storm with this basketball community. You got these young prospects coming into the league, trying to make a name for themselves, doing things that we've never seen before. Victor, this freak, like Giannis, the Greek freak. Victor is like this mutant that was designed in a lab. It's ridiculous. And then you got Scoot Henderson. Someone that people have slept on, unfortunately, because he's just standing behind Victor. But Scoot is a baller. He is a hooper. He is coming to a situation in Portland where they're losing a legend, and hopefully they're gaining another one. A lot of pieces over there, but no one wants that title. Anthony Simons doesn't want it. They tried to breed him and make him right for it when Dame was there, but we know it's not him. Is Scoot going to take it? He probably will. Where is he going to take it? We don't know. And that's the interesting thing. So seeing him compared to Victor, it's going to be quite a situation. Because I think from a pure basketball point, Scoot Henderson is a better basketball player. It's simple. Like, he just fundamentally, I think, better than Victor. Victor is more so a project learning basketball. So you watch him play, like, he shows flashes where he has skill, but it's more so just he's bigger. His arms are longer, you know? So I think in that sense, Scoot's better, but Victor probably will, I think, succeed more in a career sense. That's why he has pop. No matter how much I knock him, he's surrounded by a winning situation. He's being mentored by Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. Vic, what is Scoot getting? You know, and that goes a long way in the NBA. So I think in that sense, Victor will be better. And this comparison reminds me a lot of a situation that I used to encounter a lot growing up. And I still have these debates to this day. Not as much because I kind of moved past it, but Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. You cannot tell me, looking eye test, that Tim Duncan is a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant. Why? One, we shouldn't be comparing two different positions. But that's the thing right there. Tim Duncan isn't bringing the ball up the court, full court at that. Ball in his hand, creating his own shot, scoring, able to pass as well. He's not doing that. He can defend both sides of the ball, but it's from a constrained part of the game, the paint. So obviously he's going to be more efficient. Field goal percentage is going to be higher. Is he a better basketball player though? No. What did he benefit from? A great environment, situation. He won a lot of titles. David Allen, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Pop, Kawhi Leonard. Kobe Bryant, better basketball player. Simple. You can't argue that. You cannot. So stop it with the debates. We know who's better. Kobe, period. Two-way player that can bring up the ball, do everything. Everything. Like, come on. And then, I think, having said that, Victor probably will get Rookie of the Year. My early predictions. I just think one thing with these awards now, especially in this day and age, it's more so about the narrative and what's being pushed and what can you market. And what is so marketable right now? Victor, he is everywhere. People haven't seen him before. This international sensation. And then what is Scoot? This G League fought his way to the league. No, it's unfortunate, but no one wants that situation because it's not glorious. It's not glamour. It's not pretty. Scoot could fool a lot of people wrong and have Portland competing, and he's obviously the league guy. And next thing you know, he's winning that Rookie of the Year. But I just think Victor has it. And I'm going to leave it with that because we still got to have the season really take over, and I can give you a more detailed analysis. But yeah, that's my early prediction with the Scoot and Victor Rookie of the Year battle that's going to go on. And then, obviously, another, I think, major award that we talk about a lot and value a lot in basketball is the most improved player. These are players that were kind of just forgotten about, and they somehow shock the world again, or the community. They put on a show. And, I'm going to start with, obviously, Mikal Bridges. I think he's a great shot at getting that, being the main man in Brooklyn again, like I said. Taking that step of, are you going to be a known threat around here, or was this a one-time type of ordeal, Cinderella story? But I think he has a great shot. If he goes from 24 points a game, 23, whatever he's making, to 28, which he can do now as the main man, why can't he get most improved player, right? Anthony Edwards, like I said with him earlier, sky's the limit, and he probably has the best shot of taking that next level, next step. Because I think Karl Anthony Towns, unfortunately, just hasn't shown us, especially at this point in his career, that he wants it, and he wants to be in that same conversation as Kevin Garnett, Charles Barkley, Dirk Nowitzki. He's quote unquote the greatest shooting big man of all time. But we know it's Dirk. It's not Karl. And I just think Anthony Edwards is about to take that alpha male away from him. He doesn't want it. AD's going to step into it. So he has a great shot as well. Jalen Green, very, very tough start to his NBA career just with the off-the-court issues. I think you guys all know what I'm talking about. And he's just young, and it's crazy that social media is a thing now where things are getting out and people see things. And I remember Anthony Davis had a very similar ordeal when he was in the Kentucky locker room, and a video came out of them joking around or something, doing some questionable action, but it's these are some young bucks. Now thinking this stuff's it's just crazy, and it's unfortunate that people are trying to pay him in his light now. But I think that this is going to motivate him. It's going to fuel him to really go get it now. And he's surrounded by great players who are going to elevate him even more to go get it. So he has a great shot as well. And then Cade Cunningham coming back from a major injury. Jalen's rival right now. Two young guns that came to the league at the same time, competing at the same time. Little snippets of them going at it in the AAU. We love it, right? Cade wants it too, because Detroit got a squad that's going to be good, and Cade Cunningham is a baller. He's that type of finesse player. He slows down for him. He looks at it a little bit differently. I'm going to go here because you went here. I'm going to go here because you not think I'm going to go there. That's how Cade thinks. It's the way he approaches the game. I think he's just going to show the league. He showed it the first 2 seasons that he can do it, and he's going to show it even more now as a sound, experienced basketball player. And then to finish it up, I think obviously right along with Anthony Edwards, the 2 front runners, Jordan Poole. A lot to prove. Chip on his shoulder. Draymond Green, you tweaked. I don't care what you did for Golden State. Jordan Poole did something for Golden State too. And I know what you did outweighs what he did. 4 titles that you won compared to his 1. I get it. But JP is a very important piece, important player, and his ceiling is just, it can go so many different places. And I think we saw that, it should have been a check for a lot of people with James Harden in OKC. When he left, he showed that I can go to this MVP level. Obviously, he hasn't won yet, but that's James Harden, right? Why wouldn't you want James Harden, Russ, and KD in a prime on the same team right now? Who wouldn't? Crazy. JP, I think, has that ceiling. Kevin Garnett was not tweaking when he made that comparison. I agree to some extent. I think James obviously is a better playmaker. He can involve people more than Jordan Poole can, but Jordan Poole's a better scorer. I think so. And I'm probably going to get some pushback from that, but 4 level, he's doing it better than James, I think. Because his is a little bit more efficient. James is a little bit more of a shot chucker. JP can be too, but his efficient season, his best season, he was doing I think almost 50, 40, 90, which is the Steph Curry, efficiency, Kevin Durant, Larry Bird, Steve Nash. He was doing that. James has always been just a shot chucker. He can smack a 3, go to the line, he's efficient, but it's also high usage, So I just value JP scoring a little bit more than James Harden. But I think he has that shot along with Anthony Edwards to win Most Improved for the new upcoming season. And I could give you guys a little bit more, but I'm gonna wrap it up with my NBA predictions on the first episode of season 1 of All Ball, No Bull. But I do want to talk about a very important conversation. Something I think that a lot of, especially black athletes, struggle from. And just especially in the NBA, it's too much juice at one time. It's too much exposure at one time. It's being a star too quick. And I think these 3 individuals that I'm going to talk about are victims in this sense. And I'm not condoning any of the things that they've done, because I know they're all wrong until we get the facts of what has been happening with these individuals. But Mikey Williams, Miles Bridges, and Ja Morant. 3 black basketball players. Mikey Williams hasn't even made it to the league yet, but he's facing jail time for gun involvement and alleged shooting. You know, if you knew Mikey Williams, he was the social media kid, which is what I'm saying, given too much exposure at an early age and being, you know, claimed as the king or proclaimed as the king at an early age. LeBron James is an anomaly. He didn't really grow up in a social media age. Kobe Bryant is an anomaly. You know, we're getting these little videos now in this age because like people can do it, but like being on IG 24/7 and Snapchat 24/7 and listen to, I'm gonna be real, music plays a part too. It does, and no one can, you can't tell me any different. It does influence in a way. These basketball players are listening to this music and want to be like these rappers. They do want to tote a gun. They do want to, you cross me, so I'm gonna up this pole on you. They want to do that. They got the money, they got the power. Like who is it? Who are you to tell them no? You feel me? So yeah, a lot of these players, Ja, Mikey, Miles, they listen to the same music, the same type of vibe. Like, come on, let's acknowledge the real here. And we got to save these boys before it's too late. 'Cause I never want to see anything like this. I want to see Mikey Williams in the league. Like, what could be? You know, is this actual talent? Amani Bates, another one. He's kind of found his way a little bit, but he went through some gun trouble as well. And now he was the underdog in the draft. Cleveland got him. We're going to see what he's going to do with it, right? But let's stop this before it becomes an issue. It's unfortunate these guys didn't learn from Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, Gilbert Arenas. We have examples before our eyes of people who've gotten into incidents, situations, and it's derailed their career. Wake up, folks. That's just my 2 cents, you know, on the situation. But we got to do better, especially for my people. Because we love this game, and I want to see these young kings become kings. You know, I don't want to see the media talking about them in a bad light. Like, it's never something I want to see. So we're going to do better. I know we will. I can't wait to see the results with those cases and where we're going to go from here, because, you know, that's exciting basketball. All 3 individuals, highlight reels. I want to see it. So let's fix the problem before it becomes a, you know, crazy situation. Never something that's good. But thank you, folks. I think I've talked enough now, rambled enough, and hopefully that you enjoyed my first episode on season 1 of All Ball No Bull. You know, like I said, I'm extremely happy to be here at this point now, to feel confident enough and comfortable enough to give you guys this content. And this is just going to be something that I'm grinding out. I'm doing on a consistent basis. I'm not going to tell you exactly when on the dates, but I will be giving you, you know, at least 2 episodes throughout the week. Constant content just being dropped about the NBA, the WNBA, college, international, whatever you name it, basketball. We're talking about basketball, baby. It's all ball, no bull. This is why we're here. This is why I'm here. And I just can't wait for you guys to take this journey with me, because I'm about to get it. I'm just getting started. I'm not about to stop. I can't be stopped. I won't be stopped. You know what it is. And to finish it out, please do follow me on my social media. IG at All Ball No BS. Again, it's at All Ball No BS. The same for my Twitter, or quote unquote X, All Ball No BS. Please follow me on there, dropping content. And then my YouTube channel, it's at All Ball No Bull, the name of the podcast. Tune in, leave comments, critiques, anything, positive feedback, like anything that you just want to drop to me, because I love hearing different perspectives and opinions on the game. It's always something that, you know, I was taught to value and appreciate. So yeah, man, this is episode 1. It's your boy, Jordon J. I'm out. Let's get it.